Can anyone beat this? I created the world's hardest game of all time with 3 different types of obstacles that become more dangerous after another. At first, I created a new Unity project and designed this professional player. Then I gave him a script that lets him move right and left and jump. And that worked, of course, for the first time without any bugs. But because my player is looking like shit, I gave him a trail. So you can more easily see where the player is going. Then I added the first obstacle, which is a spike. And usually in games, when the player hits a spike, he dies or takes damage. But in my game, the player is flung through the air and after that he dies. I know, crazy game idea. For the dying, I used Unity's particle system to create this epic blood splatter, and I also created this dying animation, which looks kinda goofy, but it's enough for my game. And as you can see, I also wrote a small shader that makes the spikes glow to make the visuals a little bit more interesting. After that, I began by designing a spinning saw. And I know what you're thinking, this doesn't look like a spinning saw. I know, but when we attach a script to the saw that lets it spin and move up and down, you get the idea of a spinning saw, and for my game that's enough. When you reach the saw, you have to wait until it moves upwards so you can get past it. By the way, the combination of spikes and spinning saws is already pretty hard to get past, but because I wanted to create the hardest game of all time, I needed even more difficult obstacles. But with a problem. Right now my game looks very static and that's boring. And because I'm lazy and I don't want to create endless animations, I decided to use physics for my next obstacle. So I created a chain using rigid bodies and joints and hung a mace on it. Then I had to code the mace to swing from left to right, which was quite a painful process. And now if the player touches the mace, he gets flung to the left but will not die. Because my game's visuals only consist of primitive shapes like cubes or circles, I wanted to make them more interesting to watch. Because of that, I played a little bit around with the post-processing settings, which are basically filters that you put on top of your camera lens. And after that, I created a shader that darkens everything not near the player, which looks honestly pretty scary and makes the game even harder. However, because I didn't want to make a horror game, I adjusted the shader settings so it's brighter around the player and there's no darkness anymore. Finally, I made 2 levels with every obstacle combined. There are tricky jumps, maces that fling you into spikes, and a wave of spinning saws. And while playtesting my game, I died a lot.